Vic? 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 Vic?
What?
Asleep?
Yeah.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Talk to me a minute.
I'm very drowsy.
Vic, I don't want to go to sleep mad.
What you mad about?
I'm not mad. But you are.
Me? Mad? Laughable. My soul was never so much at peace. I never was so serene.
Fred don't mean to be aggravating.
Sade, you'll kindly not mention that name to me again. I've finished with Fred Stembottom. I play no more 500 with Fred Stembottom. I brush no more elbows with Fred Stembottom. Fred Stembottom and I are quits.
I know you feel bad about tonight.
Who feels bad about tonight? I don't feel bad about tonight. I feel good about tonight. Tonight has taught me that a man can cherish a rattlesnake
little
as a
lower,
friend and...
Vic.
Huh?
You'll wake Rush up talking so loud.
Very well. I'll say no more. Let us sleep. I bid you good night. Good night.
It's just his way.
Oh, what's just whose way?
It's just Fred's way of getting under a person's skin.
He didn't get under my skin. He may have thought he got under my skin, but he didn't get under my skin.
Joking is all it really is. I realize that kind of joking bothers a person.
It didn't bother me by a long shot.
You got kind of red in the face.
What?
You kind of squirmed in your chair when he was talking.
Who wouldn't squirm around in their chair listening to such ignorant bunk? Who
Please, Vic, Rush.
wouldn't? The fathead.
It's just Fred's way.
Just his way, hey? Some way, I'll say.
Look, I know he's stubborn and loud talking, but he's a wonderful husband to Ruthie and such a good provider, and he sends money to his folks and just as soon give you the shirt off his back.
Well, I don't want the shirt off his back. I wouldn't have the shirt off his back. And I'll tell you this, Sade, I've been in that guy's house for the last time. The last time.
I bet if he had any idea you felt this way about it, he'd just more and apologize. I bet he'd come over a kitten saying how sorry he was.
If he comes over a kitten, I'd send him right back again, a kitten. Listen, were we or were we not guests at his home tonight?
Of course we were guests over there in his home tonight.
Now
and
let me
that's
say a minute. As long as we're going to lay in bed till morning talking, we were guests over there tonight. We were invited to play a sociable game of cards. And what did our courteous host do? Well, he lit right in and told his guest his business was just so much hooey. He spent 20 minutes laughing about his guest.
No, he didn't, Vic.
Oh, he didn't. He didn't. Fred Stembottom didn't sit there at that card table with that big, wide, dumb, half-wit grin on his face and snort over how funny my job down at the plant.
Vic, please, you're talking terrible loud. Rush has got to have his sleep.
Okay. I didn't ask to discuss this. You're the one that wanted to have a pleasant chat in the middle of the night.
Couldn't you just bring your voice down a little?
Oh, I'll bring my voice down to nothing. I need sleep myself. I bid you good night. Good night.
Fred didn't laugh at your job, Vic.
Oh, he didn't, huh? Where were you, in Canada? He sat there with that monkey face grin and went on for 20 minutes about the kitchenware industry. How do they get men to go into kitchenware, Vic? Do they pick them out of insane asylums, or do they just stunt the brains of newborn babies?
He just meant that to be funny.
Well, did you think it was funny?
No,
I
but
think it should
I
burn
think
you
it was
up
very
to hear
smart
cheek
of
cracks
Fred
like
to go
that
on
about
like
your
that, but just the
husband's
same,
work.
I realized
we
he
make our
was just...
living out of kitchenware. The food we eat comes from kitchenware. Our money in the bank comes from kitchenware. I spent going on 20 years of my life in kitchenware. All the future I got is kitchenware.
No, I didn't think it was very smart of Fred to go on like that, but just the same.
And who the heck is Fred Stembottom? Nothing but a rotten little $32 a week clerk that only hangs on to his job because his boss are too
Vic!
hard to... Oh, well, I wouldn't tell that to him. I wouldn't tell it to nobody. But what if I had said things like that tonight? He did. To me.
Only fooling, though.
Only fooling.
Well, he was only fooling. I know Fred's a little stupid when it comes to lots of things, but I know as sure as there's a man in the moon that he wouldn't set out to hurt you.
What surprises me, Sade, is that you didn't get mad yourself. That's what surprises me.
I did get a little
Well, you
mad.
certainly acted it. You and Ruthie both sat there and giggled while Fred was hitting up the two-bit comedy. Laughed out loud when he called me the prince of pots and pans and the sweetheart of the frying skittle.
Oh, I laughed
Oh, well,
because...
never mind. It's okay. It won't happen again, and I've been in Fred Stembottom's house for the last time, and you can put that in your pipe and smoke it. Now let's go to sleep. Must be getting on 1 o'clock. Good night.
Vic, don't get mad, but
I'm not mad.
don't you? Can't you kind of see where... Don't get mad now at what I say, will you?
I'm not mad. I'm not mad. Can I kind of see what?
Can't you see where you were a little bit to blame tonight?
How?
Well, Fred didn't start his joshing till after you gave him a little joshing.
Well, did I run down his job? Did I make fun of the way he makes a living? Did I poke him in the spot that it hurts the worst?
No, but
But what?
you kind of went after his goat early in the evening there.
When?
Well, remember when Ruthie served the ice cream?
I do.
Remember what was being said?
Well, I complimented Ruthie on her ice cream, stated it was delicious, announced it was my favorite flavor, and in every way behaved like a guest is supposed to behave.
Do you remember... I may not get this exactly right, but do you remember saying you like ice cream served in round chunks like baseballs?
I do.
And then you recollect what Fred said?
Something insulting, I imagine. What'd he say?
He said, speaking of baseball, it wouldn't be long now before... Izzy Bean, is it?
Dizzy Dean.
He said, speaking of baseball, it wouldn't be long now before Dizzy Dean would be fanning out National League batters like sick flies.
Well, I recall the remark, yes.
And then you said Dizzy Dean was just so much wet gunpowder and ought to be plowing corn down on the farm.
Sure, that's right. Dizzy Dean's a flash in the pan.
That got under Fred's skin.
What did?
The things you said about Dizzy Dean. He thinks Dizzy Dean is marvelous. Keeps a scrapbook about him and everything. Listens to the radio. Thinks the sun rises and sets on Dizzy Dean.
Well, that's just another example of Fred's stupidity.
But you were tromping on his toes with the things you said. Tromping on him good
Good.
and hard. I saw his neck get red as fire one time there when you said you'd rather have one pitcher from the Bush League than all the Dizzy Deans in the world.
Well, I was telling the truth, I would.
But it made Fred mad, and you went right ahead making him mad. You were talking about his car. Said you'd bet him 3-1 the transmission wouldn't hold up 500 miles.
And it won't. I was stating fact. Everybody knows that make of automobile is just so much junk.
But after all, it's his car. He paid good money for it. He's as proud of it as Adam. Goes over it with a damp cloth every night of the universe.
Well, if he was smarter, he'd drive it into Sugar Creek.
But don't you see, Vic?
See what?
He didn't make you any madder than you made him. It was just one thing leading to another till finally he got on the subject of kitchenware.
Well, he won't get on the subject of kitchenware anymore. Not with me. I'm through with the fat head.
Won't you admit you were partly to blame for
Kiddo,
everything?
It's getting on morning. Let's get some sleep.
All right.
Good night.
Good night. Vic,
I'm asleep.
it's Ruthie that I'm thinking of.
What about her?
She's my best friend.
Well,
I wouldn't lose her for anything.
you don't have to lose.
When you and Fred have these flare-ups, naturally the wife sticks to the husband. I noticed tonight. I was peeved when Fred was laughing at your work, and Ruthie was peeved when you were making fun of Fred's baseball players and his auto. We couldn't help it. We tried to, but it was bound to show a little. Like I said, Ruthie is my best friend. My very best friend. I'm with the other ladies a lot, yes. Miss Donahue and Miss Harris and Miss Brighton and Miss Applewright, but it's not the same. Maybe it's because they're a little older than I am. Maybe it's because they're a little brighter in the head and got more education. I don't know what it is, but I'm not the same with them as I am with Ruthie. With Ruthie, I can laugh and cry and fight and talk nonsense and just get along marvelous. With the other ladies, I sort of feel like, here I am, a woman that ain't a girl any longer, got a 14-year-old boy. See, Ruthie and I get along a lot like kids get along. It's hard for married ladies with families to have close friends where you can just take your hair down. And Ruthie's the only close friend I got. The only one I ever will have, probably, because I'm getting along to an age where women don't make close friends. Awake?
Yeah, I'm listening.
You see what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Don't you think if you tried, don't you think you and Fred could hit it off better?
Well, I guess so.
Mean it?
Sure, Fred ain't beyond redemption, and not a bad egg at all if you don't take him serious.
Would it be all right
Would it be all right if what?
if I asked him over tomorrow night for more cards?
Fred and Ruthie?
Yes.
Sure.
You're not just talking.
No. Go ahead. Ask him over.
Thanks, Vic.
Hey, kiddo, don't you think we ought to settle down and get some sleep?
Yes.
Good night.
Good night.